All right, last of the videos for the Tarotscope for June 2017. Here is the Tarotscope for Aries. Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising. If you fall into any of those three categories, it's for you. So here are the cards that I drew. We've got Five of Wands, Six of Cups, Two of Wands, the Tower, the Hanged Man, Eight of Wands reversed, Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Moon. So this just seems to be a theme of everybody moving forward. Um, However, with Aries specifically, the way they're going about it might require some revision because it isn't the best way to move forward. So at the heart of this, you have the Five of Wands, which signals competition, conflict, and rivalry. Um, you might be in a situation where you're competing with something or someone, but are you competing for the right reasons? Is a question to ask yourself. Uh, or are you letting something from the past hold you back? Because one aspect of change and growth are two things that can be connected with conflict. Like change and growth can be connected with conflict. With this card, the show for dominance isn't necessarily harmful. It's just a moment to flex. It's just you flexing for a second. And is your flexing at least rooted in truth, or are you carrying some idealized image of yourself that you cannot possibly embody? Because that's connected to the challenge card, which is the Six of Cups reverse, which signals resisting change, clinging to the past, and unrealistic expectations. Um, so you have this conflict, this rivalry. This conflict could be connected to you like clinging to the past. You're not moving forward. You're not resisting the change, or you're resisting whatever change you need to go through or whatever you need to embody, and it's not helping you. Yes, you might be flexing, but you might also, like, while you're flexing, you might need to let go of whatever reason you have for flexing. Because unconsciously, you have the Two of Wands, which signals planning, making set planning, and discovery. And then consciously, you have the Hanged Man, which signals sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. So, like, there's a sense of, okay. So, like, there's a sense with the Two of Wands and the Hanged Man, there might be a move to make plans and explore whatever's driving you and moving you towards sacrificing or relief, whatever's driving you. And sacrificing something or releasing something might be what is maybe your method for approaching this. Um, you might know that you just need to let go of some things, or you might need to cut out some things from your life in order to go forward. And so this combination of like the Two of Wands and the Hanged Man augurs well, because especially when I consider the advice card could augur well for you, especially when you consider the advice with the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Because the Eight of Pentacles reverse signals no focus, no ambition, and no motivation. When it comes to having no focus or no ambition and no motivation, you might you need that to have plans. You need that to move forward. Like, if you know you have to make plans, and you know that you need to you're approaching it like you need to sacrifice something. So you might need to reorganize and think about what should you focus on and what can drive you. What can actually drive you. Because in the past, you might have gone through something sudden, like due to pride or some sudden change that's connected with pride, because you have the Tower in the past section, and the Tower signals sudden upheaval, pride, and disaster. And the thing about the Tower is it gets struck by lightning because when there's a faulty foundation, and so it needs to be washed away so something that with a much stronger foundation can be made. Something happened that showed you didn't have the best foundation. Something might have happened that showed you didn't have the best foundation, and so now you have to really rebuild. So, because in the near future, you have the signs with the Eight of Wands in the near Eight of Wands reversed. There's the sense of obstacles and waiting and slowing down in the near future. That might be because when you're making these moves, like I said, with the flexing, are you doing this for the right reasons, or are you holding on to some unrealistic expectations of yourself? And if you let go of those expectations, then what are you moving towards? Like, you want to make these plans and you want to give up something and you want to release, but you might need to slow down. You might need, what are you doing this for? What's the focus? What's the real motivation? Are you just doing this just to do it? Are you just, putting in all this energy to make some things happen just to say that you did it? Are you trying to rebuild what you lost in the past? Because you might need to let go of whatever it was. Something in the past may have been taken from you, or it might have been lost because it needs to be lost. There's something else that you need to replace it with. There's something, that tower needs to be rebuilt with a stronger foundation. It needs to be rebuilt with better structure. It needs to be rebuilt with something much more stable. And when you consider that the underlying message is the moon, which signals unconscious, illusions, and intuition, you have to make sure that you're not wrapped up in some illusion of yourself or your situation to where you're ignoring signs that you're not really moving in the right direction or in the right way. Like, really ask yourself that. Like, you want to show dominance, and even though the dominance isn't harmful, again, is it rooted in the truth? Are you really, when you give up those idealized expectations of yourself, what are you left with? What are you left with right now? That might be something you need to ask yourself for the month of June and meditate on that. Before you go sacrificing, before you go making these plans and ready to implement them, you might want to ask yourself, think about what has happened to you in the past and why it might have happened to you. And did it help you? Did it hurt you? How so? You might need to feel that out. You might need to really ask these hard questions and let your intuition guide you and figure out what's driving you. Figure out what's driving you. Because you want to move forward, but again, you might need to revise how you're doing it to make sure you're moving forward in the best of ways. Because in the past, you might have thought you were moving forward, but something showed you that, listen, what you've got right here ain't working. So now you might need to really revise some things and rethink how you're going to move forward. What's that driving force? What's actually driving you for this? What is your ambition? What is your focus? And so that's the reading for that. For Aries, again, Aries sun, moon, or rising. If you fall into any of those three categories, take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. Lastly, we've got Taurus. All right, I'm a Taurus moon, so this last one. Whew. Okay, so the cards I pulled, those who are Taurus suns, Taurus moons, or Taurus rising, if you fall into any of those categories, that this is the Tarotscope for you. So the cards I pulled were the Hermit reversed, um, Four of Cards, or Four of Swords reversed, Ace of Pentacles reversed, the Empress reversed, Queen of Swords, Six of Pentacles reversed, Eight of Pentacles. In the advice section, we have Eight of Pentacles, and in the underlying message is Six of Swords. So the message I'm seeing here is that Tauruses might need to reorient themselves in the month of June. There might be a current period of isolation or being lost that has hindered their growth, but this aspect might be because you've been devoting your time and your energy into other things that have left you drained. So, like the Hermit reversed signals loneliness, isolation, and losing your way. And the Four of Swords reversed signals restlessness, burnout, and stress. Usually, restlessness shows that restlessness, burnout, and stress all come as signs that you might not be using your energy where you need to be using it. Because if you're restless, that means you have more energy and you're not really investing it in something that you could be using your energy towards. Burnout means you have too little energy for all the things that you're taking on, all the responsibilities you're taking on. And stress can come from both of those things. They can be connected to both of those things. So perhaps you are, in a sense of solitude, you're isolated and you're not really moving where you should be moving. You feel lost. And while you're feeling lost, you might be investing your energy, still going throughout the day to day, putting your energy in things that aren't really helping you and stretching yourself too thin, and you're becoming stressed out because it's like, there's something that you could be putting your energy into, but you put your energy into all these other things and these commitments, and it's like, what are you doing? What could you be doing? And you feel guilty about that, and you want to move towards whatever your passions might be, or whatever whatever your passions might be, but you've taken on so many other responsibilities that you're not putting your energy where you would like to put your energy to. And that aspect could explain why there's like this underlying feeling that you missed an opportunity for material ventures, despite the fact that you're trying to approach this situation with clarity of mind. So, like, unconsciously, we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. That means lost opportunity or missed chance. You might have this feeling that you were supposed to do something, but you don't have it anymore. You had this opportunity to do something, but you missed it. It fell through your fingers because you were too busy handling these other responsibilities. These other responsibilities were eating up your time. But consciously, you want to have this clarity of mind. The Queen of Swords signals complexity, perceptive, and clear-mindedness. So you may even be aware of what's going on. You're just not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you are sure what to do. You're just not putting in the action behind it. You may be aware that there's a whole lot of stuff a lot of responsibilities that you've taken on that you really don't need to be taking on anymore. Or that you're aware that there's a whole lot of stuff that you could be doing, but you're not doing it. And for some odd reason, you're sort of just like twiddling your thumb, like you're doing what you need to do, but you still have room to be doing what you want to do, but you're just not doing it. And you're just not doing it at all. And that could be connected with, in the past, we have the Empress reversed, which signals dependence, smothering, and emptiness. So perhaps in the past you might have been in such a very strong, secure position and dependent on something to the point of almost being either dependent on something to the point where it smothered you, or smothering something and it really doesn't help you to be so smothering. You might have felt overly secure and dependent, and that could lead to you being selfish in the near future and not willing to give as much as you are taking. Because in the near future, we have a Six of Pentacles reverse, which signals selfishness, stinginess, and debt. Just the idea of being materially selfish, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but being stingy is a bad thing, and being in debt is a bad thing. And so, maybe you were giving too much, or maybe you were taking too much in the past, and that's the reason why you feel like you're isolated or lonely and you lost your way, because you were taking all these things, but they weren't really helping you. And so now you're in debt. Or you weren't really giving as much, or you were giving so much, but you don't feel like you were getting back what you deserve, and so now you just want to be stingy now. And like, it might be good to rescind all the things that you've been giving, but you want to make sure that it's not done from a place of negativity. Or you might have felt empty in the past, and now you might be currently dealing with a sense of emptiness because you've been devoting to things like outside of yourself, and that could spill over into the near future. Because now, like, in the past, you put so much, you like just really invested so much in other things, but like now that's spilling over, and you don't know what to do, and so you're just, again, in the current situation, you might be lost. And so perhaps this is a sign you might need to focus on yourself, because based off the advice card and the underlying message, with the advice, the underlying message is, and when I say focus on yourself, I mean like really putting in the work and devoting time and energy into reshaping yourself and putting it behind, because with the Eight of Pentacles, that signals education, apprenticeship, and achievement. And that means like relearning some things or learning some new things about yourself. You should focus your energy in growing your skills and remaining diligent in developing yourself, like the Eight of Pentacles says. That's what the Eight of Pentacles deals with, is that diligence towards education. Like that education, like making sure you're progressing in some type of way, whether when it comes to your passions might be what it helps, or when it comes to your work. And perhaps this will require you to let go of some things that might have been smothering you and distracting you, or it might require you to let go of some things that you've become dependent on, and you need to let go of that, because you need to stand on your own. You need to really, part of being educating yourself is standing on your own. And that's what the Six of Swords signals. It signals transition, leaving behind, and moving on. So there might have been some things that you felt secured with, but you need to move past that, and you need to let go of it and move towards something a little bit more that invests more in you, and not looking to other people to invest in you, and not looking to invest so much of yourself into other people. Like, really, that's what comes with like bringing it all back to you and reshaping and reorienting yourself to where, okay, I'm going to focus on my passions. These things, everything that I've been putting my energy into, how is it helping me? If there's a difference between, you got jobs, you'll do a job, okay, at least it's paying you well to where it can pay your bills and you can be stable. But so there's a reason why you can invest your time and energy into that. But at the same time, if it's not paying your bills, or if it's not helping you grow in terms of your passions, there's no need for you to invest in it. And there's no need for you to take anything from it or have it in your vicinity. So you might need to remove it. that goes with things, and that goes with people. So, there's things that can help you with the bare minimum, and there are things that can help you just in terms of your goals and being in highest alignment with your desires and what you want to manifest in your life. And again, when you reorient yourself, that might mean transitioning into a new period. Might mean moving towards something else, and you might leave some stuff behind and moving on, and letting some things go. Letting go, that's it's the month of June. It's June. June is the 6th month. Okay? 2017. Some new things been popping. You might need that. This might be the time for you to buckle down and start investing in yourself and not getting lost in, okay, I got to do all this. Think about what's important. Prioritize yourself. That's it. Prioritize. So that's the message for Taurus Sun and Taurus Moon and Taurus Rising. If you fall into any of those categories, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I'll see y'all later.